being hit 1,000 times on the other side, you know, that friendly face stepping up like is now happening, and it's saying, we gotta get this done no matter what, even though there's not a public option in it. That is extremely helpful to us. And so, this is not, from my perspective, about blame. I understand the frustration. I understand the incredible hopes and what people put into the election and what people want to get done and how frustrated they are, and that we've made mistakes as a caucus. I know that. But I also know that we have people who feel like when they go on the show, they're just going to get beat up. And so that, you know, we need some help to be able to help them feel like we're together on this.
They need to be beat up.
Well, then they were not going to come on the show. I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, if that is
they don't need to be beat up by us. They need to be beat up by you. The sign behind you says 14,000 Americans are going to die. That should mean something to the core progressives in the caucus. That should mean we should have party discipline when it comes to procedural votes.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
We should lose our agricultural chair. And there are enough progressives in the caucus to make that happen. The only reason it's not happening is because progressives don't want it to happen. That's something none of us
understand. That's so unfair.
Well, there's next year. We basically got. I mean, we're gonna elect committee chairs next year. The committee chairs who are sitting now understand that we're going to be electing committee chairs next year. I'm not predicting who or any that will be defeated, but they're certainly going to get a message, and one or two might. They're going to simply be a yes or no. Should Tom Harkin stay as chairman of Health? Yes or no? It will be yes for him, of course, but for some others, it may not be. And then it's the next person in line, and then we vote yes or no on them. And that's one of the things we've talked to Harry Reid about. We all understand the frustration, because we have it, including in our own caucus. Debbie stands up every week, and every single week, and asks, and she lists the people who have been on these shows, any of these shows, and she then says we need more, and she implores our colleagues every week. It's the same 6 or 8 or 10. It's more. I think it's more than Ed mentioned, but it's not enough more than Ed mentioned, and it's not some of the most best-known people in the caucus. But you know, you have a reason to raise hell. Keep raising hell with us. Keep pushing. I the Roosevelt quote I mentioned a minute ago. You know, make us do it. And God knows we need it, because there's some people in the caucus. I mean, I was in the middle of the negotiations on what I thought we had instead of the public option, which Senator Kennedy and Harkin and Dodd asked Sheldon Whitehouse and me to write the public options. I think you know, and we wrote it, and it got a little bit weaker than I was in the middle of the negotiations to switch and give up a public option, but get some other things, including Medicare buy-in. Then we lost that. And there are people in our caucus that we're not wild about, but we need you to continue to weigh in and give us a backbone, because some of the ones that want to be with us don't quite have the backbone that we wish they had. You can help us with that.
Can I follow that?
But, and let me just, yes.
Healthcare related. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to add, though, to that, and I know you've done it. Thank you so much, Sharon. Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I do want to add, though, and this may be widely unpopular, but, the reality is that, many people in our caucus feel like they're beat up on both sides. That doesn't help us when people are demoralized and aren't energized. They need to feel like they got people on their, not that they're not going to be pushed. I agree with pushing us. I agree with that. But also helping us get that rest of the message out. And I know that, I'm not saying that that's not done. But there is it is hard to get more than a dozen of us. We've got about a dozen of us. And we need to be doing more than that. And I pressed the White House as well. And we need to be doing more, and we need to be getting out there, and we need to communicate better. One of the things we need to know is what we need to give you, or how we need to communicate better. But it's been a tough year. And I just have to tell you, on our side there has been just a feeling of it doesn't matter what we do, it's never going to be good enough, and people are being hit on all sides. We are trying to re-energize the fight. We have done that. I think we've got it. We got it back here. So we just need your help in keeping that, help us fight on what needs to happen. Yes.
Well, can I ask that? I mean, part of the problem I think that a lot of people have is that the White House is not on board with this. The best example is this latest attempt to get public option to reconciliation, where every day you get more and more senators saying we should do it, and you have Robert Gibbs, and 41 right now, and you have Robert Gibbs saying the votes aren't there. Well, people feel like they're being sort of led along. I think Senator Sanders said earlier that there was a mistake made in abandoning the base after the election. Is there friction between you guys in the White House on this stuff? Because it doesn't seem like they're ready.
Well, needless to say, having said it, I agree with it.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't.
Well, I'm sure Sharon agrees too. And what is very sad is we had hopes that that election was transformational in the sense of bringing people into the political process who had never been in it before. I try very hard in Vermont to bring young people into the political process. It's very hard to do. Obama did it. But you know where those young people are today? They're not in the political process. They really are. We've lost them. We've antagonized trade unionists. We have not done well with seniors. I don't think we've done well with women. And I think that was a tragic mistake. Your point is well taken. I can't argue with you. I want to bring on another point, and you can deal with it as you want, because I know Debbie and Sharon as well have been active in this. One of the unspoken issues that we deal with every day is the right-wing echo chamber and the enormous power that
Yes.
Yes. So, frankly, no matter what we do, it does not necessarily, even when we do good things occasionally, get picked up. But on the other hand, you have a disciplined, orchestrated, pounding away from Fox, from Limbo, from Sean Hannity, from all of these other guys out there. Now, an issue that Debbie and I have worked on together, I like any ideas that we may have. We think the Republicans did something very smart 20 or 30 years ago when they created that right-wing echo chamber. We have not yet done it. Democrats raised huge amounts of money for campaigns, no question about that. But what they forget is that Rush Limbaugh was campaigning 365 days a year. And what we have got to do is build up, if you like, a progressive media, which is educating the American people about the realities of what's going on in this country and in the world. The saddest thing, I don't have a problem, never have, when the banks or the big money interest, try to defeat what I am trying to do. I expect that. That's the way it is supposed to be. I don't take their money, I don't want their money, and so forth. But what does distress me is when you have people who today are unemployed because their jobs went to China. People who have no health insurance standing up and saying, I want government out of my life. That is just cutting your own throat. And it's based on a worldview shaped by, very effectively, I watch Fox occasionally, it blows me away how good they are. So we need to raise the money to literally start a progressive network, to give support to our radio. I mean, I do a show with Tom Hartman every week. It's a great show. I think Tom does a great job. Ed does it. All of you do a great job. We need 100 of you out there. We need people to be, we have money, there's money on our side, but it is being used, it's not being used, I think, to develop that progressive media. That's a lesson we have got to learn.
Absolutely. Yes.
I even called my intern over there, Bill Preston. It's good to give the young people a chance to be heard.
I am proud to be your intern. But Senator, you and I have talked about this, and I'm glad you raised that point. The other thing we need is not just more people in the progressive media, but more outlets and more opportunities. And this huge imbalance, speaking particularly about talk radio today, and it's nothing to do with the fairness factor. That's what they always raise. We're talking about impediments in ownership that enable these big corporations to own horizontally and vertically, and to keep us up here. Ed should be on 500 stations, so should Tom and Stephanie and all the rest. And I'll take it too. But we don't have those opportunities. And since we've been talking about it, and we've met with several senators about it, and there's a lot of verbal support, but there's not been one hearing, there's not been one piece of legislation, there's not been no action by the new FCC. And for all of the issues we're talking about in this room, until we have those opportunities, we're not going to be able to be there for you, or can keep your feet to the fire.
And the truth is, I'm not jumping out of my skin, because the truth is that Sharon and you and Senator from Vermont are the only ones that have consistently over the last 5